Now, the mainstream media and many people on Twitter are absolutely livid because J.D. Vance used the expression childless cat ladies. And immediately they went like, what's wrong with being childless? What's wrong with having cats? And they failed to understand that the expression itself is an insult. It's like calling someone an incel. Imagine calling someone an incel, and then it's like, well, what's wrong with not having a girlfriend? Like, what's wrong with seeking for one, right? You're not actually criticizing the fact that the person doesn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, it's an insult. Like calling someone a virgin living in their mother's basement. So the question is, like, why did they got so upset? And in order to answer this, I will do something that I usually try to avoid, which is to share stuff from my real life. I've seen other streamers mixing real life and streaming, and it usually doesn't go well. But I think in this situation, especially with this important topic, I will actually share in the unlikely event that there is a liberal within the audience who doesn't understand why having children is important. And I gotta say, I kind of relate, because I used to dislike kids. I legitimately did not like kids at all. They're annoying, they're loud, most of them are cheeky little shits, and you can't even talk back to them. Like, when I moved to this neighborhood, I'm the only one without a car because I failed my driving instruction test. It's not that I don't understand the theory or I don't get past the written exam. I do. But it's like actually driving, I hate it. I don't like being behind the wheel. Do you understand this? I hate cars. I hate the road. I hate everything that has to do with driving. I personally do not like it. I understand other people like it, but I personally don't. So like having to do something that you're not enthusiastic of usually ends up not succeeding. And I gotta say, it kind of bothers me, okay? Like, this is why I don't share stuff of my private life, because now people know, they know how to get to me. But yeah, no, you know what? It does bother me. You can bring it up. Yeah, everything in my life that I wanted to accomplish, I have done. I wanted to go to law school. I finished law school. I wanted to go to med school. I went to med school. I wanted a wife with big tits and a plump ass. That's what I got. I get everything that I set up to do, even being a streamer, except for driving. Like, there's something about that. I just can't get the driving license. Eventually, I will. It will take time. I don't know. When I'll be bored, I'll probably try again. And eventually, I will get it. But up until this point, like, this is the way on how you can get to me. Alright? So, I'm coming home, and this neighbor's kid, this little girl, I don't know, I think she was like 9 or 10. It's like, Mister, why don't you have a car? Why don't you drive? You know, like, cheeky little shit level of, like, what can you ask her? What can you ask? Like, I got BTF phone right there. See, this is why I don't like kids. I genuinely do not. So, my wife insisted. And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I gotta do it, right? Because, like, that's the manly thing to do. Those are my responsibilities. I got a traditional waifu. She does the cleaning. She does the cooking. I gotta do what, you know, like, my gender role. So, we do end up having a kid. And I gotta say, when she came home from the hospital, my enthusiasm level was still low. It was like, I couldn't even say that it's like a pet. Like, it didn't even acknowledge my presence. You can't play with it. You can't cuddle with it. It just sits there. It eats, it sleeps, and it wakes you during the middle of the night. And since I'm not a progressive man, and despite the fact that many Democrats on Twitter try to educate me that men can chest feed, I can't. I personally cannot. So, like, there was nothing I could do in order to stop him from crying, because I understood why he was crying. He was hungry, but again, I couldn't feed it. So, I really wasn't happy with the whole situation. But as time moves on, and I spend more time with it, and I'm helping my wife deal with the new situation by waking up in the middle of the night, preparing the milk formula, cleaning the house, changing the nappies, and doing all of those things with my wife, it created a stronger bond between me and her. And the baby turned from an it into my son. Like, I'm actually really happy with the decision that I made right now. And there is nothing in the world that would change my mind. There's nothing in the world that would make me regret the decision that I had, which at the moment I didn't even want to. And even after I made the decision, I hated it. But again, just having a common goal with my wife, which is to take care of our son, is the most wholesome thing in the world. And he can't even speak yet. He doesn't do much. He's not even at the age where he can play. Like, all he does is he eats and he sleeps. But even like this, at this level, it makes me really happy to have him in our house, in our life. So the reason I'm making this video is that I want people to understand, like, I genuinely dislike kids. Like many people think that I'm exaggerating or that you did. No, listen. I dislike kids, and I still do, except for my own. Like, my own is different. And my own is the best. But like, other kids, I just don't want to be in their presence. Like, wherever they are, I want to be elsewhere. Like if I go to a friend's house and they have kids, my wife likes interacting. I don't. And if you start talking about them, I find it cringe. Alright? Like, I want people to internalize that. If I'm at a restaurant and you're there with your kids, and they're misbehaving and they're screaming and they're running around the tables and stuff, in my mind, I say disparaging things about you and probably your wife. I am that person. Alright? I am that petty. I know that one day I will be at a restaurant and my kids will do the same, and I will fully accept that if you, in your mind, say disparaging things about me, it's perfectly fine, because I have it coming. But all jokes aside, though, why am I saying this? Why am I admitting to this? Because I know that there are liberals out there who feel the same way, who like prioritize their work, prioritize their education, prioritize anything else, and they also do not like kids. And you're not aware of what you're missing. Like, you just do not know what you're missing until the little one comes into your life. Because, again, I finished 2 universities, and I didn't feel as much happiness as I have felt in the last couple of days. And on top of that, it even makes your relationship better. Because up until now, me and my wife were going through the routine. She was watching television, then we were coming together and eating together, and then I was going at the computer and working, and then we were meeting together and we're watching a movie, right? Like, it's all getting routine, and life was good. And the problem is, like, when life is too good, it becomes boring. But now, you know, we both have an objective. We're both channeling our energy into making the little one's life as best as possible. So it creates a stronger bond. And maybe this is why, like, a lot of liberals divorce all the time. I don't know. But like, I would find it very difficult to think of something that would divide me and my wife right now. Like we are so well connected because of this. And I think it's evolutionary. Like, it's normal, right? I know the word normal has been removed from the English dictionary in favor of the word weird. But I definitely understand why childless cat lady is an insult coming from people that do have kids. Because I know that J.D. Vance has kids. So, like, when you have kids, you understand how it's like not to have them, and you understand how it's like to have them. The left is all big on lived experiences. But if you don't have kids, you have no idea how it's like to have them. And, again, the reason that I mentioned, and I self-deprecated myself by admitting that I never liked kids, is because I was in the same mindset. And I was also thinking at the time, oh, well, if I have one, it's going to be difficult because you got to change the nappies and you got to do all these things. But now that I do, I understand, yeah, it is a little bit difficult. It's not excruciatingly difficult. And on top of that, there's a lot of good things that come with it. There's a lot of wholesomeness and a lot of positivity. So hopefully this video is going to help someone think differently. Probably not, because I don't know if I have many leftists listening to it. But I'm genuinely curious what you guys have to say about it and what your experiences were. I know that many men, at least in Romania, feel like me, but they just don't want to articulate. Like, this is actually funny. When I was at med school and we went to pediatrics, a lot of the men didn't like kids either, right? For the same reasons. They're loud, they're screaming, they're crying. Like, it is what it is. But whenever the girls were around, all the guys were pretending to like it. And it's like, oh, look at the baby. Oh, so cute. And I'm like, dude, we just spoke earlier. You told me you don't like it. Shh. Right? So I do think that maybe this is normal. I don't know. Like, is it normal not to like them until you have your own and you change your mind? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.